Hey folks, this is Nicholai back at you with another video. This time I'm going to be responding to PewDiePie. Now, this is very interesting because a lot of I dabble in AI mostly because I find it useful for a lot of projects that I'm working on. It speeds the process up, and I use ones that are, you know, pretty decent, I would say. Now, this guy this guy is kind of, in my opinion, slightly talking out of his butt. This is just my opinion, um, because he's acting as if this is something your average person can just do. We can't. PewDiePie is a full-time. I mean, he's a full-time, basically retired person. He can do whatever he wants. He could stop producing content tomorrow and live comfortably the rest of his life and still have enough money to give his children and his children's children. He could invest in a couple properties, live off passive income for the rest of his life. No problem. He would have zero problems doing this. So it's a little disingenuous to be like, oh, he rigs up 10 RTX 4090s. You know how expensive 10 RTX 4090s are? Most people are not going to be able to afford 10 RTX 4090s. I mean, come on. Most people don't have the luxury of figuring out LLMs, um, multi-GPO sharding, etc., etc. He doesn't have the time. He's bored and he has the time to do the research and really dive deep into this stuff, which, by the way, he went to school for, right? He went to school for engineering. So this is the kind of stuff that really like plays with his brain. Great guy, smart guy, love PewDiePie to death, but let's not pretend that he is like his position is something we all can afford. He says, bro knows more AI than most AI influencers. First off, I hate anybody calling themselves an AI influencer. AI is nothing more than programs trained to do specific tasks. In the instance that most people understand ChatGPT, Grok, and things like that, is that they are general AI language algorithms that are trained to scour the interwebs for information. Or, so those are live AI. They're doing the searching algorithms based on keyword searches that you type to them. It will take those keywords, put it into something that's sensible for it to search. It will search for that thing, and then it'll spit out a response to you. That's the language model doing its work, right? There's that does it in real time, and then there's ones that are pre-trained on tons of information, and they only get updated every so often with updated information. What PewDiePie is doing is essentially he's taking a baseline model and he's fine-tuning it. He's training it on his own stuff. He's training it with stuff that he finds to be trustworthy, valuable, and good data. There is a big problem in the AI sphere with data incest, where it's, oh, the data that it's being trained on is data from AI, and AI is training AI, which is training AI, which is leading to catastrophic failures, and sometimes where AI just gives you crazy answers that make no sense. This is increasingly happening. So the future of quote unquote AI, which again is a misnomer because it's not really artificial intelligence, it's just a language model. Most of them are just language models. They're not actually smart. They don't actually know things. They don't actually learn things. They are trained on things by a program, and they can only do things that are that they're programmed to do with that information. They don't learn how to do new things with that information. They only know how to do the things that they're trained to do with that information. And so that's the first thing that needs to be like dispelled right off the bat. The second thing that needs to be dispelled, or the next thing that needs to be dispelled, is that AI is going to like end things, right? It's, oh, everyone's gonna like, it's gonna make the dead internet theory and all this stuff. It's not gonna happen. Here's why. Because eventually the demand for high quality information is going to outpace the demand for easy to get information, because then people are not going to want this garbage data that is worthless. It's worth no money to companies, to people, and to governments if all of the information they're getting from their AI models is garbage, because it's because of data incest, because of because of unreliable information, where a lot of these AI programs are being trained off Reddit answers and Wikipedia articles. That's not reliable information. That's too open to human influence, right? And so they're going to go to, hey, our model, you're going to have new companies that come out and say our model is trained only to accomplish these specific tasks in this A. So I think what's going to end up happening is there's going to be AI models that are trained specifically for history. There are going to be AI models that are trained specifically for, creative writing. There will be AI models that are specifically trained to do specific tasks, rather than these kind of general models that are trained on a lot of information, but a lot of that information is garbage information, which leads to a lot of catastrophic issues. So that is my view on the future of AI. That's my view on the future of these things. And I think PewDiePie, though I have not watched the video yet, probably would agree with me on that. Now, let us go here. We're just going to my channel real quick. We'll go to PewDiePie. PewDiePie. When we
Creators, take these three
quickly
apps I built
listen to
run
what
your
he has to
business
say.
made with base 44. They're ready for you as
I have a confession to make. I bifurcated again. And I know what you're thinking. Felix, did you split your PCIe lane so you can fit 2 GPUs again? Yes. But so what? Because what I didn't say in my last video, when I got the BIOS from the random stranger online so I could bifurcate, what I didn't say was all the lanes were bifurcatable. I can bifurcate as many times as I want. It's legal. I bifurcated again! 9 GPUs for mortal men doomed to die.
Just one more. One more.
10 GPUs! So what am I gonna do with all this space? I can fit my whole foot in there. What am I gonna do? A foot holder? I had to do it. I had to do it, man. Surely you will understand. Now I know what you're thinking. Again, Felix, what are you gonna do with all of that? 6 dimensions. I am going to play Minecraft in 6 dimensions. I realize that I have a tendency, and maybe you can relate to this as well, of setting a goal without any regard for, is this a good idea? Do I really want to do this? What is the point of doing this? I just really wanted to max out my computer, and that became...
So, totally understandable. I'm a nerd as well. I think I constantly want to do these things. If I had the money to do it, I would have a crazy setup as well, kind of like that. So totally understandable, especially with a guy with Felix's time and resources. I mean, why wouldn't he? The one thing I wish Felix would do is maybe get more in touch with the kind of the spiritual aspect of humanity. I know he's done some philosophy books that he's read, but I wish he would read maybe Father Seraphim Rose and things of that nature, because I do think it would be very useful for him. And I think it would be useful for him to at least give his feedback on that for his audience. But anyways, let's continue.
Like a weird obsession. But here I am, and I finished my computer because I know what you're thinking. Felix, did you add a 4090? Those run on 475 watts? Are you crazy? You can't do that. You don't have that kind of power consumption. I can undervolt it, you stupid bitch. The performance is negligible the last couple percentages. It's fine. Now that we got all that out of the way. What have I actually been doing with this computer? I've been doing protein folding simulations. That's right. I knew I could rent out my computing power and make money that way. But that's for shablozos. Protein folding simulation is where it's at. Basically, scientists need to run these protein simulations for their studies. It helps them better understand different diseases, but it takes a lot of computing power. So you or me can help doing that and spreading that out. So basically having like a mini data center, it can actually make a big help. So I've been running that overnight whenever I can, and it's been really fun to climb the leaderboards. That's really all I care about, Charity. Leaderboards. We're going. Obviously, I'm just joking, but it sounds, first of all, I get it. It sounds like a scam. It sounds like I'm patting myself on the back while someone is getting rich off crypto. That's not the case. I've looked into this. It is 100% legit, and it's been around for a very long time. I just never heard about it for some reason.
Yeah,
maybe you think they're...
Yeah, and he's 100% right. It's been around a long time. Renting out your computing power is something that a lot of smaller teams in particular have to do because they don't have access to the big boys. And I was a server administrator, so I managed server rooms and things like that for various institutions, which I will not talk about here. But it's very common for people to do that. So
they're paying me or something, but I genuinely just think this is very cool. And get the best part, I made a team, so you guys can join in. You don't need a beast computer to do this. And if anything, it really shows how a lot of people come together. You can make a big difference. And it's a very cool flex to say that your computer has supported cancer research or Alzheimer's and other diseases. So please consider joining the team. Team Pewds, and get this, the team number that was randomly generated, you're never gonna guess it. Okay, 10669. 0.66. God gave us that number. God gave us that number. Grab your CPU and GPU and let's fold protein together. If you have some time later today, spend 30 minutes and set it up. I've been aiming for top 0.1%. Let's get folding.
You can do it with other things as well, not just these scientists. Like, people do it for like crypto mining and things like that. Now, I'm not even going to get into the crypto talk today. Okay, I'm not going to talk about crypto because this is something that people have told me that they want me to debate Jay Dyer about. Because I have some very strongly worded opinions about crypto and the nature of crypto and the nature of currency itself. But that will be another time. God bless you, Jay, if you end up watching this. God bless you. I'm not trying to call you out specifically. I'm just saying that, in fact, I think Jay has a semi-reasonable position on this because I have asked him about it in the past. I think he has a more reasonable position than a lot of some of the quote-unquote crypto influencers have. So that being said, I think people would be disappointed with a debate like that because I think we would end up agreeing a lot more than we disagree on some of the issues surrounding crypto, not necessarily the principles undergirding it.
So I've been planning to go to Sweden next month, and there's so much involved with tickets and where to stay, and then it's a 12-hour flight back to Sweden, even though it's direct now, which is amazing. But the worst part is trying to find out, how do I get internet? You cannot travel abroad without internet. That's a terrible idea. I've done it. Don't do it. And I always dreaded it because signing up to rent a Wi-Fi after a long flight is the least thing you want to do. Having to worry about when you land.
All right,
What's the
we're gonna skip past the ad. No offense, Pewdie, but I don't want to make everyone wait for that.
biggest model of AI that I can run on this computer? That's what I wanted to find out. And it turns out it's complicated. This computer costs $20,000 roughly. In terms of running AI, that's relatively cheap. That's what I was trying to say. Because the cost for running AI is like, it goes from here to, no, I can't make that joke. The cost for running AI is just bonkers. It's stupid. Okay, so what AI did I run?
So actually, interesting little tidbit if people want to give it a little bit of a try on their, maybe you need a high-end computer to run it. Don't get me wrong, like 100% need a high-end computer to run your own model. But NVIDIA has an excellent completely free model that you can train yourself at your disposal. And if you run a NVIDIA GeForce or something like that, you will be pleasantly surprised how well it runs for the most part. It generates a lot of heat, though, I will warn you. So
first, we have to make some things crystal clear. I do not F with image generation or video generation. I don't really have that strong of opinion about it, but all the drawing nerds supported me in my drawing video, so I stand by the drawing nerds, as a fellow drawing nerd myself. I genuinely think AI art looks ass. It looks bad. You can tell immediately it's AI generated. And the art that does look cool has been straight up ripped off from another artist. So why not just look up the artist? I don't get it. I can see it being used.
AI is useful for creation in terms of like getting a lot of like feedback loop, and also frankly as an artist you can train a good AI program to generate images for you, and train it on your images, so you can reiterate quickly, because art ultimately is a business for a lot of people. Like, if you're making money off your art, time is money. And frankly, a lot of people don't have the time. And so if you can generate more, you will free yourself up to do things that you actually want to do. Not advocating for that. I'm just saying that there are applications for it.
Used for the lowest stock image or piece of a background or something, but more than that, I just think it's lame. Second of all, I do feel like I'm in a weird place with this because I'm gonna yap about AI here, and I hate people yapping about AI. I genuinely can't stand it. Seeing AI everywhere.
I actually kind of agree with him, which is funny that I'm responding to this, because as you guys can probably tell, I am not a fan of even using it even calling it AI. It just makes me physically ill.
It's so irritating to me. I went to a hotel last month and they were like, we have AI generation integrated in the hotel room. I'm like, great, stop. Even here on YouTube, the AI features are so useless. It's just become the hot next buzzword, and it's very annoying. But on the other
it's a bubble. It's a giant bubble.
hand, the people that just hate AI are equally centrist take on me. They're all bad. And I'm just kidding, but it's like, I don't know if you heard Markiplier got canceled because he used AI. Please don't cancel me, please. If anyone watches Markiplier, click away the video right now. It's not gonna be good. No, but from trying to self-host AI, I realized just how much misinformation there is about AI, especially because I didn't know anything about it. So, without further ado, what model can I run on this thing? Well, I asked AI itself. I went straight to the source. I was like, what model can I run? It goes, bro, I got you, Llama 70B. And I was like, cool, it runs. It's not bad, but I didn't really go like, wow. I want to go, you know? I want to feel like, whoa, look at that beast computer, beast AI. I didn't get that opinion. If anything, I was like, that was surprisingly easy. I think I can run this on 4 GPUs, actually. Lo and behold, it runs on 4 GPUs. I have not maxed out at all. What am I going to do? Have them talk to each other? Then I get it running on 2 GPUs. What am I going to do with that? Give them a little tea party? No. I want to... Both! I want to max out. Can a guy max out? It's the fattest stack of AI I can slap on this thing. There's an 870p, I tell you. So I mathed the math. I was like 120 billion. For those of you who don't know, every model comes in different sizes. Bigger model generally means better, but not at all a rule. Don't listen to that. But I knew the biggest model I can run was 120 billion parameters. 120B doesn't exist. Nothing. Nada. And I know what you think, Felix, there is. Yes, because as I was complaining about it, OpenAI, ChatGPT, finally lived to their name and released an open source model like everyone else has already done. And guess what?
What is with these ads, by the way? They're just insane. At this point, they're AI generated too. You can tell by the face composition.
120 billion parameters. I couldn't believe it. The timing was just insane, and I ran it.
And so you guys know what is a parameter? It's data that it's been trained on. How many different sets of data has it been trained on? That's what it is. That's what a parameter is.
I was like, oh, I did the thing. I was like, ah. It feels exactly like ChatGPT, but it's fast as... It's so fast. I can't read that fast. Can you read that fast? It's crazy. So I was like...
Again, another thing is if you look at the back end of all these AI models that are language models, if you were to look at the back end, they're just advanced programs that do search, that they automatic your search algorithm, searching things, and it uses keywords to search for those things. That's all it does.
I did it. I maxed out. But I think I can get it running on 4 GPUs. You see, to deploy AI, I use VLLM. You can do different things. I use VLLM, which means I have to stare at the VLLM loading screen. Running AI, everyone's hardware is going to be different and differently optimized. So you need to have like a little cookbook that you set of different parameters before you fire off that thing. And it takes a while for it to load up. And I've been staring at that loading for too long. I swear, I understand what the incomprehensible reading text means without being able to read it. That will never run. But then when it does run, it's like, ah! I go, ah! Sorry, I need to stop doing that. But I realized I could probably run this AI model on 4 GPUs. Lo and behold, ChatOS runs on 4 GPUs. I'm like, I should be happy, right? But I'm not, because I want to max out. Can a guy just max out? Is that too much to ask? So if you math the math, I should be able to run a 240 billion parameter model. I should. And you know what? There is Gwen 235B. But there's 2 problems. Number 1, I tried it and it never fucking runs. Number 2, even if I do get it running, I don't have enough memory to actually use it. I could maybe fart at it at best and it would die instantly. Maybe a little squeak back. I don't know if I'm lucky. But I thought, hell, for the sake of the memes, let's max out and get this thing running. And finally, it runs. Oh. Let's go. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes, I did it. Finally. I had to set this thing so it spreads out equally. I don't know if you knew that. So now you know that. To me, this felt like a huge win, but I decided to keep trying. I was like, okay, maybe I can load it with more tokens. So I double it and it runs. I was like, okay, nice. Now I can maybe sneeze at it. Maybe I could even do a little wave. Like, it's not practical is what I'm saying. But I double it again and it loads. I double it. It goes to 16,000, 32,000, 64,000. I get to 100,000 tokens on this bitch, which is practically a book. Like, amazing. I can actually run and use this model. 235 billion. Yeah. Chinese AI strikes again. This should not be possible. I remember I was troubleshooting this with another AI and he kept going, stop, it's not gonna work, stop. And I'm like, shut up, we're testing it out. Basically, it was just an optimized quant, if you must know. So thank you. Okay, but then another plot twist. As soon as I ran this model, that's when I realized, I wish I never run this model. Too much power. I'm not even joking. I've been learning how to program as part of my tech journey. And then I saw this thing programmed locally offline on my computer. My soul just left my body. I was like, well, there goes that ambition. I'm just kidding, by the way. I still think it's an amazing skill to learn, and I've been enjoying it.
Being a good programmer is going to make you better at using AI programming, because AI programming is flawed, to say the least, because, well, I'm not going to get into all the details there, but I'm going to stop here with reacting to his thing. I think I understand the gist of what the guy was saying, Hassam here. I get a gist of what he's saying. I think that him saying he knows more than most AI influencers, basically he did a bunch of research, had spare time on his hand, threw together a computer, and loaded up a model that's open source, and then trained the model. It's not a big deal. And then he switched up the parameters and things like that. People think this is not as impressive as this guy was making it out, and this is why you should not fall for these hype influencers. This is why. Look at all these impressions. This guy's got this many likes, and yet he's kind of talking out his ass. That's the end of this. That's the end of the story, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you want me to do next.